What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? I woke up with a heavy heart. Tamla Horsford was on my mind. For some reason, just out of nowhere, I just started thinking about her case. Tamla is the black woman who attended an adult sleepover with her white friends in Cumming, Georgia. She was found dead on the ground. They claim that she fell over a balcony while drunk. Out of all the people that was at the house, the black woman is the only one that ends up dead. The case, fam, is wild. It's wild and it's very suspicious. In fact, I think it's criminal. Despite the family's efforts to try to get justice, all of the inconsistencies in the stories that the witnesses gave, the evidence, the fact that the GBI and the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office closed the case. There's a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle. And fam, if any of you guys out there are bloggers, YouTubers, you're in the media, you got some kind of power, you're a lawyer, you're a politician, even the subscribers, casual viewers, please share this video. Even if you don't share the video, just get the word out. Mention it on your platforms. Let's talk about this. Let's put this case back out in the front because this woman needs justice. Her family needs justice. These people should not be allowed to get away with murder. I do believe they murdered this woman. Now, November 4th will mark 4 years to the date of her death. We're coming up on 4 years that this woman has been dead. Still, no justice. I mean, not an inkling of justice. This is one of the worst cases that I've ever seen where the victim, the loved ones, cannot get justice, even though we know something ain't right about this. I'm going to provide you with some facts about the case. And what I want you to do is just use your common sense to let me know if this makes any sense to you. Let's start with the 2 law enforcement agencies that investigated the case. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office responded to the 911 call on November 4th, 2018. 2 years later, the GBI reopened the case. Both agencies came to the same conclusion. Tamla of Cumming, Georgia, got drunk at the party and fell from a balcony after everyone went to sleep. According to toxicology reports, her blood alcohol level was 0.38, nearly 3 times the legal limit. She had traces of marijuana and alprazolam, an anxiety medication, in her system. The theory is plausible, but the family believes it only works in isolation from other facts. From the start, Tamla's family and friends expressed concerns about how authorities handled the investigation. Forsyth County deputies repeatedly told them it would all make sense once they had access to the reports. Once the case was ruled an accident and closed, Tamla's husband's attorney, Ralph Fernandez, released for the first time the full independent autopsy performed by a medical examiner, Dr. Adele Shaker. Fernandez said, "I knew it was a homicide. The problem is, I can't pin it on anyone because I don't have a badge." Michelle Graves made plenty of enemies by picking apart her friend's death investigation. She filed open record requests, hounded investigators with emails and questions, and challenged the credibility of those at the house the night Tamla died. She wants to know why no one tried to roll Tamla over to render CPR after discovering her outside, not even the police, who called off EMS according to documents provided as part of the investigation. There were no efforts done whatsoever to save that woman's life. The homeowner recalled that not even an ambulance was called. She said they just looked up and saw her coming out in a body bag. The only one that is documented in the initial investigation to have touched Tamla's body is, get this fam, the homeowner's boyfriend, who said that he touched or lifted her leg, depending on which report you want to believe. Fam, the timeline is also off. It's in question. Investigators said, however she died, it happened around 1:57 a.m. In fact, they didn't say around, they said it happened at 1:57 a.m. That's when, according to the security door alerts, the back door to the upstairs porch opened and never closed until the body was found. Witnesses said it makes sense because that's shortly after the homeowner and remaining guests went to bed. Tamla wanted one last cigarette, but the family has raised questions about several door alerts leading to the garage that night. Perhaps someone cleaned it up? What were they cleaning? Moving on, fam. According to the alerts, that door opened 17 minutes earlier at 1:40 a.m. and was also never closed. The person last to see Tamla alive said they walked to the front door. That matches with the front door chime at 1:47 a.m. She told police Tamla gave her a hug and shut the door. But the woman's husband, who came to pick her up, said his wife came to the door alone. What's with all the inconsistencies? Both the GBI medical examiner's report and the independent autopsy list the cause of death as multiple blunt force injuries. But Dr. Shaker, the forensic pathologist that examined Tamla's body after the GBI, said the dislocated wrist in the GBI's report is actually a compound fracture. In the scene photos, one can see a bone sticking out of her right wrist. The injury is significant because it raises questions as to where the injury occurred and whether it happened before or after death. And get this, fam, get this. What little blood can be found on Tamla's body was found on her sleeve, opposite of the injury. Opposite of the injury. How do you get blood on the opposite side of the injury? And they discovered the body with her hands on both sides, with her palms face down. Come on, fam. Come on, man. Y'all know what this is. This is a textbook cover-up. Tamla's father believes the cut was put there after she died. It's a claim Shaker supports, calling the injury in his report post-mortem or after death. The GBI also lists a fracture in her spine. Shaker said it isn't a fracture at all, but to him, what's most important is what the GBI medical examiner did not find. There is no evidence of any significant injuries to the skull and bones, Fernandez said. In his report, Shaker wrote that the absence of bruising to the broken bones in her skull raises the flag to cause of death as falling from the second story of a building. The GBI did see a summary of Shaker's report, but never received a full copy. Investigators asked for the document, but Fernandez said he didn't trust their intentions to simply just hand it over. He pointed out that there's nothing stopping the GBI from issuing a subpoena to get it. According to Tamla's friend Michelle Graves, beyond what could be studied after the fact, there were red flags all over the crime scene. She said they showed us the mulch and the rocks in the mulch, and showed us where she tripped and fell over the little garden border. She explained this during a visit to the house where Tamla died after police had cleared the scene. The homeowner said in conversations with the police that she was trying to help the family by letting them see the place where Tamla had died. The homeowner was so convinced that Tamla did not die from falling from the top floor balcony that she went on social media to say so. And check this out, fam. The lead investigator, Michael Christian, echoed those sentiments. This guy said that the position of the body does not appear that she had fallen directly from the balcony, rather ground level. Even deputies at the scene seemed confused by the position of the body. Tamla's body was found lying flat, face first, almost underneath the balcony that police later ruled she fell from. And the position seemed even more odd to the homeowner and her boyfriend because they insist both hands were by her side, palms up, when they called 911. The GBI officer asked if Tamla's arms were down by her side. Yeah, by her side, palms up, the homeowner responds. Scene photos show her left arm is actually off to the side. It is bent and her palm is facing down with fingers curled under. Tamla's family suspects this is a new chapter in Forsyth County's history of racial tensions. Tamla was the only black woman at the party and the only one who wound up dead. In 1912, the county forced out all of its black residents. Today, only 4% of the county's population is black, according to the U.S. Census data. Her family believes this impacted the way the deputies viewed the scene and the case. The lead investigator on the case, Michael Christian, is accused of calling Tamla the porch lady and using derogatory racial remarks. You don't say. But there's more. Race aside, the officers who responded had connections with some of the people inside of the house. The man who was on the 911 call was a former probation officer who at the time worked in Forsyth County's court system. And then there's more. On the body camera audio, one can hear one of the officers walking another deputy through the different people at the scene. He mentions Jose Barrera. We've got some mutual friends together. I've known Jose for a while. We're friends, the deputy is heard saying on the video. One can also hear another woman from the party express concerns about getting to her new job on time. After explaining where she works, a deputy tells her, "I'm sure you're good because your boss is my wife." One woman diagnosed with severe anxiety told police that her medication made it impossible for her to lie and that she is so dependent on her anxiety medicine, she wore a necklace with Xanax in it. She told investigators she understood it was a controlled substance and would never share it with anyone. Yet, once the GBI subpoenaed the phones and started reading through the text messages, they found evidence that the woman had indeed shared some type of medication at least twice with her friends prior to the party and with one friend on the day of Tamla's death. When confronted, the woman admitted it was true, but said she only shared the drugs because she knew the women. Reportedly, she did not know Tamla. Tamla had Xanax in her system when she died. No one knows why. Forsyth County and GBI closed the case. The agencies made peace with the inconsistencies and believe each question has a logical answer, or at the very least, the answers don't impact the outcome, as they've explained in the past. This woman deserves justice, fam. The lead investigator on the case, Michael Christian, lost his certification to work as a police officer. The high-profile nature of Tamla's death led several women to come forward accusing Michael of sharing scene photos and confidential information about this and other cases with them. The homeowner's boyfriend also lost his job at the courthouse after he was accused of inappropriately accessing the case files relating to Tamla's death and Graves' personal information. An internal investigation ruled the first claim unfounded. However, he was still fired from his duties at the courthouse. His boss said that she fired him because she had lost confidence in his ability to perform his job. Fam, come on now. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know what it is. This is murder. And they need to go find out who committed the murder. And the thing is this, as more time goes by, I do believe that somebody is going to have a conscience. And as hard as that is to believe, somebody is either going to have a conscience or a slip up. And somebody is going to tell, because they know, somebody in that house, they know who killed that woman. They know. The whole idea that these guys showed up to a house and they knew those people and they were all connected, most of them were connected some type of way. That gives you, that is a motive for a cover up right there. If you show up to a house where there's a homicide and your people inside the house, hey man, you know, if you're an unscrupulous, character, you may want to try to conceal something like that. You may want to try to suppress evidence, hide evidence, destroy evidence, taint the crime scene. This is cold-blooded what they did to that woman, fam. That woman was murdered. If she wasn't murdered, there would not be that as many inconsistencies. There would be no reason to lie if she wasn't murdered. There would be no reason for this woman to say she didn't give Xanax to anybody. And she just readily admits that she has Xanax. She said, my medication prevents me from lying. I can't lie. And that was a lie. Come on, fam. Nah, I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. I'm not letting this case go. I'm not letting it go. I'm a shout it from the highest mountain, fam. I'm a shout it. I'm going to speak on this. I'm not letting this go. It appears to me that instead of investigating the perpetrators, they investigated the victim. They investigated the victim's husband. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office and the GBI are either incompetent, involved in a cover-up, or both. Let's get Tamla some justice, fam. R.I.P. Tamla Horsford. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?